Hey guys, I'm Jack Ross from Naples, Florida, and I'm committed to Notre Dame. Basically, I started playing soccer ever since I was a little kid. My dad really was the one to, introduce me to the sport. He played in college. I actually don't know where at, but he coached, me and all of our schools, like teams throughout elementary and middle school. So I would always be around soccer teams and practicing with them, just like as a little kid, So I was always like playing with them, just hanging out with the older teams. And then eventually he put me in a recreational league. And then from there, I just was having fun because at the time I was just enjoying the sport, So, and from there I was enjoying it a lot and I was getting pretty good. And my friends and I, we decided to start our own little club in our area. So from there, we kind of killed the competition in our little area. Naples, Florida is kind of like a small area. At the time there wasn't that much competition, so. And our team was pretty good. We had a lot of good individuals. So we kind of killed that. We killed the competition in our area. So after that, I was probably still in elementary school, and then going into middle school, we moved on to another club in Fort Myers called GPS. So, there's a lot of GPS throughout the country, but ours was in Fort Myers. So from there, that's when I really started to pick up. Our team was really good throughout my middle school years. And from there, I really started to train and realizing okay, I could do this. I'm good at this. I could make my way up here. So then from there, at GPS opened up a lot of doors for me. I got called up to our national team where all the best kids from all the GPS around the country came to one team, and we competed. And we went for my first year with the GPS national team. We went to a Surf Cup in San Diego, California. And then after that, second year, we went to Ireland. So, and then the competition was great. I got seen by a lot of people. And actually throughout those years, we also went to Dallas Cup. I went to Dallas Cup twice with that team. First year, a lot of fun. A lot of scouts, a lot of competition, good competition. And actually one of our teammates got recruited to go play for Columbus Cruise Academy. So the next year when I went, I was like, all right, I got to prove myself, actually, this is my time where I could, get seen by a lot of people and hopefully, make that next step. And little did I know, it was. So, and then from there, that summer after Dallas Cup was over, my mom kept on getting calls from a Minnesota, phone number. And she just, never picked up until, they kept on calling and calling. And one day she picked up and, she was like, Jack, this place called Shattuck St. Mary's, saw you play in Dallas, and they wanted you to come up and do a little prospect week and try out, see how you like the school and all that. So that's what we did. Yeah. So basically, my mom got the call from Shattuck, and I was like, all right, yeah, I want to see what this is all about. So that summer we went up to Shattuck, and we toured the school. I got to train with the group. The training was nothing like before. Again, I've been with some teams, but mostly in Florida, and just Florida. In my team back in Florida was a small team, small area. So this was something totally different. The competition, the speed, everything was different. So, but it was a good different. So that was good. So I toured the school. I liked what I saw. Got to meet all the coaches. Very nice. And especially the thing that really got me was being with the team and talking with them. I really took that opportunity to talk with the team and ask questions and see how life is at school. And after that, I was like, all right, this is what I want to do, especially because I knew that I wanted to take the next step in my soccer career, and I knew that back home that there wasn't an opportunity like that for me, since all the academies were hours away from my house, and my mom and dad weren't able to drive me hours away every day for practice. So when I came here, I realized that I could just walk to practice every day. I have everything here that I need for myself to get better, and that's what I wanted. At the end of the day, I just had to make a decision of whether I wanted to go to the next step and become who I wanted to be, or stay at home with, friends and family and live that high school life. But at the end of the day, I came here and realized that this is the best place for me, and it truly was the best decision I ever made. Yep. So I ended up moving in the next year for my freshman year at Shattuck. It was rough getting into the training and all that. It took me a time to get used to the training and being with the team and everything. But I at the end of the day, I just embraced the experience. I wasn't putting my head down. I just knew that it's gonna take time for me to find my place, find my rhythm in here, and that's what I did. So for the first couple months, everything was all good. I had to get used to the weather, obviously, coming from Florida. I just embraced every little opportunity I had. I got to meet new people, and it was good at Shattuck. Everything was all good, except until March hit, when COVID hit. That was really big impact on Shattuck. Especially from a boarding school. All the parents, the faculty, everyone didn't know what to do. So at the end of the day, they made the right decision in sending everyone home in March. And from there, our season was over, and everyone had to go home. Especially that year too, my U16 year as a freshman, we technically weren't in the DA, so we didn't really have a scheduled season. But so it was more like a development year for everyone, for our team, which was really helpful and everything. So for the next year, when we came back, everyone, when we left in March, everyone was excited. Obviously sad that we had to leave and our games and everything got canceled, but excited for the next year as we would, be part of U17, be in the new MLS Next program and everything. So we were excited for the upcoming season. So when we got back the next year, it was still kind of the same scenario. COVID was still a thing. We were online school every day, wearing masks every day. Everything was very restricted here. Mask while training for quite a while. But our team was very focused and hungry for, we haven't played in ages, so after that COVID break, our team was just hungry to get at it back at it again. We trained every day. I trained every day, weights every day, just doing our all. And actually Thanksgiving came around, and Minnesota's governor or something like that canceled all outdoor activities. So from there, everyone just didn't really find a way to be didn't know why they were at school. So everyone ended up going home because we couldn't train at all. So everyone went home from Thanksgiving pretty much to the New Year. So we had a 2-month break, and that hit us hard. But our team was still everyone on our team was so focused, and we had our coaches and everyone gave us workout plans for us back at home. So when we came back, we were even more hungry to start our spring season, and just all the winter too. The winter was a grind. Being in the dome back at campus, for that 2-month period, training every day, we were just so hungry for our spring season, because that's our ticket into playoffs, and that's what we were wanting at the end of the year, was being able to go to playoffs and competing for a national tournament. So yeah, our spring season kicked off. Everyone was so excited. We came back and we were ready to go. Our first game was against Minnesota United. I'm pretty sure that was just a friendly at the time too, because Minnesota United really didn't have wasn't in the MLS Next program. So we played them as a friendly, and we won that. I guess also they're also our rivals, so it was a derby day for us, and we beat them. So that was a huge confidence step for us. So after that, we were preparing more and more for our spring season, and as that went on, I feel our conference is one of the hardest in the country. We play so many good teams, and our first couple of games, we scored 7 goals. I think our first 2 games we had 7 goals and 0 conceded. We were on the rise up, but everyone was so humble still. We had still a long way to go, but for sure these were signs of good hope. So we kept on going on throughout our season. We ended up keep on winning and winning. Our team was just together as one. We literally rarely conceded goals, which that was our main priority. Our team was a works. Our whole team worked. So on the conceding side of things. So we never we tried our hardest not to concede goals, and our front guys, worked for us, so it worked out. So yeah, we kept on going out, we kept on winning, and I think our first loss was pretty late in our season against St. Louis. They were also kind of like our rivals, so because we played them 3 times in the fall for friendlies and stuff, and beat them every time. But it was they were close games, just dogging out in the games. And when we played in the spring, we went to their place and we ended up losing 2-1 in the final seconds. And after that game, it was the worst feeling ever. Everyone on our team was disappointed, and just because we hadn't lost. We thought we were on top. We were going good, and that was a real wake up call for us. So even after that, training the next week, we got together, we talked about it. Training next week was hard. We focused on what we needed to do right. Especially that weekend too was one of our hardest weekends. We had Indiana Fire and FC Cincinnati back to back, and that was a big weekend for us. We ended up that weekend we won 4-0 against Indiana Fire and 3-1 against FC Cincinnati, both at their place on the road. So that was a massive weekend for us, coming back from our loss, showing that we can just recover from that loss, come back and win 2 massive games. And at that point, school had ended for us. So that year, that whole last season, I was a sophomore. And when summer ended, I was officially a junior. And after that Indiana and Cincy weekend, I was officially able to talk to colleges. And actually, after that weekend, I got my first text message from a college coach. And from there, I was just building things up. And then I was it kind of woke me up too. Wow, this could actually happen now. It was a little nerve-wracking for me, but it was also fun and exciting for the experience. So after that, I think we had one more game after that weekend, which was Columbus Crew, our last game of the season. And by then we were already qualified for playoffs, so Crew was just another sharpening game for us. But during that time, I was really everyone, all my teammates were emailing colleges as they were rising seniors, and I was a rising junior. So everyone was emailing colleges, I was emailing colleges, not really, I was still young and early in the process, so I really didn't, I was just shooting out as many as I can, see what could happen. Everything went well there. And then we ended up going to playoffs. I remember the night when we found out who we were gonna play first round, we were all waiting in our dorm, we were all just really excited. And our coach came up to our floor and was hey guys, we got the draw, are you guys ready? And then we got Tampa Bay United. So I'm coming from Florida, I knew of them, and I was excited. So first round, we did a scout, obviously we were ready, and we were honestly just Tampa Bay United, and also the next games too in our bracket. But we were also just laser focused on Tampa Bay United getting past the first round as it was single elimination. So then we beat Tampa Bay United 2-0, really good win. First game of playoffs, everyone was excited, the nerves were going, a lot of coaches on the sidelines. So we were excited there. Got the 2-0 win, feeling good. And then the next day, so this was back to back. The next day we had our next game round versus Orlando City on the showcase field where it was televised, and that was an awesome experience. Everyone was out there, and honestly, for me, myself, and my teammates, I feel we were all in form too. I feel I was playing good all throughout our spring season last year. Everyone was playing good. Our depth in our squad and team was so deep. Everyone was in form. So we were just very comfortable with these. We played a lot of 2-day weekends, so it doesn't matter really who started because our team had so much depth. So we were just ready to go for the next day. Next, Orlando City. This was the game. We played our hearts out. We did everything we could. Unfortunately, it ended in a 0-0 tie, and we went to penalties and lost there. It was the worst feeling ever. We feel we should have won. Obviously, any team lost is gonna say that, but honestly, we felt we should have won, especially with the season we had. We worked so hard for that opportunity. Losing in penalties is rough, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Especially because we come back for this year, it's something to look forward to getting on past that point. But after playoffs, obviously, I was getting a lot of contact with coaches and colleges, and I was still young and still early in the process. So I was just, keep my options open, just going day by day with that. And then started this year too, before we started playing games in the fall for our fall season, same thing, reaching out to coaches and all that stuff. It was still, early in my recruitment process and all that. And yeah, so we just kept on playing our fall season and it went on. Yeah, so fall season came by, I was emailing a lot of college coaches, just seeing what I could get back from them. I was still young, obviously, in the recruitment process. I still had a lot of time to choose and decide. I had a lot of contact with some coaches, but it was just here and there, not really interest from both of our sides. So that went on. I felt like fall season too, our team was in form, I was in form. And then right before, I think one weekend, we went to play, double weekend, we went to Ohio to play Columbus Crew and FC Cincinnati. And before that weekend, I emailed some college coaches, and I also emailed Notre Dame in particular. They got back to me right away. I haven't emailed them before at this point, but they've been always on my mind and everything. They emailed me right away, texted me right away, emailed me right away. So at that point, I was very excited to hear from them, and that was by far my biggest interest at the time with whoever I was talking with. At that point, they were my main focus, and I feel like I got the same energy from them, which made me more comfortable in that process. So more time went on. Our fall season ended there, and I was still talking to them, texting with the coaches, building our relationship. And then we had our MLS Next fest in California, where they were supposed to come and watch me play, but couldn't because they had a game in the college NCAA tournament. So they were focusing on their team and prepping for Final 8 or Final 4. I forgot which game it was, but it was all cool. And then we went, and then after that tournament, we ended up going on break. So I went back home to Florida, and during when I came back to school, I talked to the coaches. We set up a visit for myself to go out there, and during that visit, I also got to do a camp with them, just to get with the coaches, train a little bit while I'm off. So I did that. I did the camp the first 2 days, so that weekend, Saturday, Sunday. It was really good. There was actually a lot of players from our conference that were there, so between Chicago Fire players, Wolves players, Indiana Fire, soccer's a lot of Chicago kids. So I knew them just from playing with them. And there was kids from Timbers. Actually, some of the kids there are now committed to go there as well, so that was pretty cool to see. So I had a great time at the camp, especially being around the team. Some of the guys from the team were out, and I could just tell it was a camp, but they treated they were just out there having fun. The spirit was good, the energy was good, which also made it more comfortable and exciting. So then the camp was over. It was a good time. Had a training good, and the following day I went on my visit toward campus. Got to hang out with the guys and just get more information about their program and all that. And honestly, when I was doing that and just listening to the coaches and the teammates, it really reminded me of Shattuck, just in their philosophy and their way of life, and how everything there is so competitive, and it really reminded me of Shattuck, and that brought me to think why did I come to Shattuck? It was it was the next step in my soccer career, and it was the best thing for me. Just the people, the environment here at Shattuck pushed me to my best, and that's really what I saw when I went to Notre Dame as well. These, the teammates are brothers. Their energy is good, and they push each other to be their best, and that's why they ended up going to the Final 4 and had a really good run in the NCAA tournament. So obviously, I reflected after my visit. I had some more talks with the coaches and my parents and everything, and realized that this place is kind of like Shattuck, and just the atmosphere, and I was that was the best decision I ever made in my life, coming to Shattuck. And why would I waste another opportunity like that not to go to play for Notre Dame, play in the best conference, I feel in college soccer. So at that point, I received a very good offer from them, and without a doubt, like, accepted it, just because one, like, they gave me a really good offer and showed like really good interest, and same with me, like, I was, they were my number one school, and no one else was really giving me interest. As for center back, it's hard really to get recruited because you're a center back, it's sometimes it's quite hard. So yeah, for them to give me an offer and for me to be a junior still is a dream come true for me to go play for them. Yeah, so through my process, I had a lot of teammates that were already committed at the time, and they kept on telling me, like, Jack, like, just be patient, your time will come. As like every morning we would train together, we were, everyone here is like so helpful and pushing each other. So they were just telling me, Jack, like, wait, like, your time will come, like, trust in your training, trust in what you do. And in my head, I just kept on telling myself, like, yeah, I'm putting everything in my training. I'm doing extra work. I'm doing everything I can to play at the next level, to play at that D1 level. And eventually my time did come. I kept on trusting my training, trusting my coaches too, like what they tell me. I just took everything in. Coaches helped me a lot through my process, so I just took everything in and trusted in my training and kept on being consistent in my in life, training, reaching out to colleges and everything. So my advice to you guys is trust in training and trust in your life, that if you just keep on putting that work in and listen and be consistent with your work, everything will fold out for you. Everything will come together. All right, guys, that wraps up my story. Thank you so much for listening and supporting Shattuck and Adolfo here, as we really appreciate you guys. Like I said, just keep on trusting your training, trusting yourself, and your time will come.